Hey guys, this here, and I guess this released yesterday as we're recording this. I actually installed it yesterday, didn't realize it was yesterday. Um, but by the time I saw it, it was so late I didn't really want to film, but I did at least update. So today I'm reacting to the Dead by Daylight 9.2.3 bug fix patch for Dead by Daylight. I don't know what will be in here. I did quickly check just to see what the length was because I always feel bad when they're super long. I'm just stuck reading it forever and like I'm just this uncontrollable like yawning mess that you guys just have to listen to. And thankfully it doesn't look too long. So let's jump into this, shall we? Content. The twins and the Hellmaster have been re-enabled in the Haunted by Daylight event queue. Oh, I didn't realize they had been. I was aware that they were disabled. I have not played Haunted by Daylight yet. I don't know if Orange has or not. I know Orange was planning on playing it for both of us just to knock it out. Just so we could at least get the rewards and like, the fun like candy weapons for the killers and then for the survivors, those like really fun skeleton shirts. Plus the badges and the banners from the event. And potentially, I don't know if I will or not yet, but I potentially might try to get some of the outfits that I've been needing to get that are in the store, but I don't know if I will or not yet. I'm still. What else we got here? The shape. Added a 20% bonus to stun recovery and breaking speed while in evil incarnate mode. Honestly, it kind of makes sense to give him some sort of bonus there because evil incarnate, because just kind of due to how they always describe evil incarnate. But yeah, I don't. I don't know if 20% might be a little much. I'd have to actually like play the game and test it out, but 20% might be a little much. But it's not terrible, I guess. Increased the duration of Evil Incarnate mode to 60 seconds was 40 seconds. Interesting that they increased it. I kind of like that. I'm personally not very good at the game, so I would always, especially with Evil Incarnate mode, because it's all about that slaughtering strike, which is really frustrating because the slaughtering strike, I don't like how it moves. It's really hard to like control it and like move. I personally found, and then I watched who was it? And I saw like a YouTube short sometime later of that same PTB where they gave him the evil incarnate mode. Um, a run maybe, hens maybe, spook and jukes. I don't know, one of those. Um, I think it was classed actually. Maybe I could be wrong though. It's one of those guys, and it was him testing out the slaughtering strike, and he fork. He and literally the clip was him like 4King in like a YouTube short clip, and I was just like, okay, am I just trash? The answer is yes. I am actually fucking terrible at this game, but it was also nice to know that people could use the slaughtering strike correctly. It's just hard to like, I guess it was just hard for me, but that was kind of nice to learn. Increased movement speed when activating evil incarnate mode. The 4.6 meter second was 3.45 meter second. Okay, so I've misunderstood for a second there, but I think I got it. So basically, as you are, because there's like this little brief amount of time where you're kind of in this in between of evil incarnate 2 of evil incarnate mode and pursuer mode, I think is what the new name for it is. Where you're kind of slowed down. So it's nice that like in between step, that brief in between period, you're a little bit faster. That's kind of nice. Increase slaughtering strikes movement speed to 7.5 meters a second with 6.9 meters a second. That's kind of interesting. My big concern was that though is how it was already like felt really fast. At least for me personally, but now it's faster, and I feel like that's really gonna make turning whistle hard. And So that's kind of so I feel like that's gonna make turning even harder for me and others, and kind of make it more frustrating. But it's nice that it's faster, so that way, that's kind of nice as well, because that means that survivors would have like less time and less of a chance to like spin you or like move dodge at the last second because you are faster. So that's kind of nice as well. Increased slaughtering strikes, turning sensitivity. See, that's the main thing I've been wanting with slaughtering strike, is something like that. I don't fully know what they mean by turning sensitivity. There is a developer note for it, so I'll read that here in a second. But I'm hoping that that turning sensitivity does have something to do with like your turning ability. I personally am not a big fan of games where, regardless of what I'm doing, if I'm trying to like turn and it's like really hard, just as an example, tank controls, right? Those are terrible for me because it's really hard to like turn well a lot of the times. But yeah, so I really hope that that'll actually make turning easier with it, and that would make me really happy if that is in fact what that means. But let's read the developer note because I really want to get more info on this turning sensitivity part. This is the first of two steps. Interesting. We have planned to make Slaughtering Strike feel more responsive when you're mid action. You see, because right now it doesn't really feel that responsive. Like you go, and this was my experience was in the PTB, right? You go with Slaughtering Strike, you are now basically stuck going forward in that mode until your character just like does the strike in the air, or you like stop charging the button. So I'm really happy that they have two. I'm really curious now what that second step is. That PTB is coming up. That PTB is actually in November because they moved. Should be the November one because they like moved around a whole bunch of stuff here at the end of the year, and they basically just said no chapter November so we can fix our game because people were complaining that badly. You know, they had ever since the Walking Dead chapter release, which is a big reason why I still haven't bought the chapter and don't really have plans to buy it, you know, anytime soon. A big reason for that from me is because of how hard they dropped the ball. And I want the game to be better by the time I do get them. So, and not only that, but then they had the live stream with Chandler Riggs, who I guess played a character in the show, though there was controversy there. TLDR, he got fired because they didn't want to pay him a an adult wage because he was a child actor at the time. But he turned 18 while he was a part of the show, and then they got rid of him. I guess he's been used for like his voice in like a couple of Walking Dead, like I think mobile games or whatnot. But of course, he's never like credited or anything, I believe. So you know, it's been frustrating. Apparently, the live stream though, I don't know the specifics of what happened. But I don't know all the specifics, but I do know that he apparently just walked out at one point, and it was just kind of frustrating because he just dipped. Their special guest just dipped on them, because I think, um, and whatnot, and that was just that look was so horrible that they still haven't recovered from that. In fact, part of why I personally was worried about trying out the Haunted by Daylight, though I will if Orange wants to, but part of why I've been so worried about doing it is because people are still complaining about how the game is and like online and whatnot, and it sounds like the game still has just a ton of issues, and it makes me really worried to play it. But I will potentially. So I'm really happy that they are trying to fix Slaughtering Strike and make it feel more responsive and better at being able to use. So I'm really curious what that second step is. We will be removing the sensitivity modifier from Slaughtering Strike, making it identical to normal camera sensitivity. Oh, that's nice as well. I didn't even realize, like, I didn't even know it was different. So that's really nice. That's going to be the normal camera sensitivity now. I like that a lot. Again, I'm really hoping these are changes that will make turning with it easier. because then he's gonna feel so much better. But yeah, so I like the idea of the turning sensitivity so far. Remove the vertical camera restriction while performing a soaring strike. I don't really know what that means, but I guess it's a good thing. So you know what? We'll take it. Decrease soaring strikes cooldown to 4 seconds while 6 seconds. That's. I'm surprised they want to make it faster to come back, but whatever. Increase score event for soaring strike hit to 800 blood points was 200. Let's fucking go! We're about to make more fucking money. We make that dollar, y'all. Fucking money. Oh, money. Let's go, baby. We need all the money we can get in this Dead by Daylight economy. Let's go. Decrease pursuer mode's tear radius to 16 meters with 24 meters. That's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. That's real nice. Decreased evil incarnate mode's tear radius to 32 meters with 40 meters. That's nice as well. Honestly, I'll take those. I'll take those. Those are nice. Bug fixes specifically for Haunted by Daylight itself here at the front. Let's see what we got here for Haunted by Daylight. I haven't played Haunted by Daylight in years. I saw part of a live stream of Starva playing it, and gotta be honest here, I was so confused by what I was seeing. So, let's see what we got here. Fix an issue where players could become partially or fully invisible after interacting with a void portal. Becoming invisible. Becoming invisible from the spectator POV has been fixed as well. They spelled fixed wrong. They spelled it was an O. That's really funny. Happy I saw that. That's really funny to see a typo. Fixed an issue where survivors' heads would show the effects of various killers' mores after interacting with the void portal. Interesting. Fixed an issue where the knight could permanently see their guards' auras at their last location after entering the void realm. That's a really weird issue. Fixed an issue where the knight's view was unaffected by the void crystal smoke bomb when using guard summon. That's not how that's supposed to work, so glad that's fixed. Fix an issue where killers were able to see through the void crystal smoke bomb when standing at the sphere's edge. Interesting. Fix an issue where the mastermind and a survivor could become invisible to one another and obstruct their view when the void portal interaction is interrupted. Fix an issue where void haunts would not hit the survivor if they fell on top of them. That's kind of funny. That didn't work before, but I guess it does now, so that sucks. Fix the issue where the ghoul, you motherfucker, would face forward while destroying a pumpkin. Fucking Kaneki, man, breaking this godforsaken thing. If I remember correctly, I think he's like, I can't remember the specifics. I know Orange last time I saw him, which was like a week ago as we're recording this. He was telling me about how he was actually telling me about Darva's most recent tier list for some of the changes that have happened with the Krazu and whatnot. And apparently, we now have, at least at the moment, we now have 3 S tier killers, which is terrifying to think about. And I think Kaneki was very high as well. I don't think he was S, but he was also very high. It's also concerning that Darva now has an F tier, which is concerning, and also really weird that the things move around a lot. The last time I remember him telling me about one of his tier lists for just how killers felt and whatnot. I remember there being a lot more D tiers. But the one he told me, there was a lot less D tiers than I was expecting there to be, so that was kind of interesting to see. But yeah, give me a second to Get back to where I was. There we go. Fix the issue in the Void Realm where the nurse could blink out of bounds. That's a problem. I always I always wondered because you always see stuff about how nurse could like blink out of bounds and whatnot, and I always wondered like what that looks like to the nurse player because I've never actually seen footage of a nurse player that did that, like what their screen looks like, and I've always been curious about it. Fix an issue where the twins Victor could become invisible if unbound while a void crystal smoke bomb was active, and I think that might have been part of why the twins were disabled. From my understanding, based on like I think an official did by do I think that I saw talking about it, the reason for Houndmaster and twins being disabled had something to do with like Victor and the dog, I guess, being invisible. I guess that was like part of it or something. I might be wrong or misremembering, but that's at least what I remember it saying. What else we got here? Fixing it. Okay, so now we're on to audio. Fix an issue where the audio would be muffled when entering and exiting lockers. Fix an issue where the Dark Lord's cape SFX were too loud when spectating. For some reason, my mind was thinking that said cage instead of cape, but that doesn't make sense because Dracula doesn't have a cage; he has a cape. But whatever. Fix an issue where the spirit's default SFX could be heard when finishing a phase walk while equipped with the Tomi outfit. I don't think I've ever seen that spirit outfit. I've never heard of it before, but maybe I have seen it and I just didn't know the name of it. Possible. Fix the issue where the executioner's punishment of the damned SFX is missing when hanging a survivor. Fix the issue where a loud noise notification would trigger when a survivor was rescued from the executioner's gate of atonement. Fix the issue where the audio for the Doomed Course trailer could be heard when tabbed out of the application. Interesting. Fix the issue where chase music was not heard when spectating the killer in custom game. Fix the issue where infected SFX continued to play after the plague destroyed an infected pallet. Characters. Fix an issue where the Krasu, oh hey, speaking of her, could cause pallets to repeatedly lift and drop when vaulting after switching to head mode. That's a big issue, so I'm really happy that's fixed. Fix the issue where the Krasu could occasionally cause a crash when vaulting during headlong flight while using mouse wheel key bindings. That's also a huge fix. Fix the issue where the camera would zoom in on the sky at the end of the Krasu's Mori animation when viewed from the survivor's POV. That's also good to fix. Fix the issue where the hindered status effect from the ghoul's grab attack would last longer than normal in Vault Grab. That's also huge. Fuck you, Kaneki. Fuck you, Kaneki. For those of you who don't know or aren't aware of all the Kaneki, aka the ghoul, hate lately, it's not because he's not a fun killer. It's not because he's an interesting killer. It's because he's kind of broken right now. Sometime after his release, I believe ever since his release, there's parts about his power and about other things like with him that work a little bit too well or to whatever, making him like really powerful. And so it's very easy for like players to pick Kaneki and get like the easiest, most like brain dead 4Ks of their lives just due to some of the things that Kaneki has. Though they have nerfed him at least once. I know they nerfed like a huge problem with him. I don't know how much that's affected him overall yet, but I do know that he has received at least one huge nerf, and this is technically a pretty decent nerf as well, because they fixed some weird issue with the hindered stats effect. So that's also kind of a huge nerf as well to fix that issue. So it's always good to see like little W's on Ghoul getting nerfed, because he's kind of that, he's like he's just not fun to play against. Anytime I see a Kaneki, I just get like I still do my best and I still try my best, but I kind of, to some extent, just kind of start thinking that there's no point in trying. Though I always do try because you never know. But yeah, I'm hoping for the best. I hope for him to one day no longer have some of these big issues. Fix an issue where the Shapes camera would reset after activating Evil Incarnate mode. Interesting. Fix an issue where the Shapes sliding strike turning was not smooth on controllers. It wasn't smooth for me at all. I was using keyboard and mouse when I did that. But yeah, it's not smooth at all. It's really in terms of controls for me, again, when it comes to turning, it's just not it's just not fun trying to turn that. But I'm really happy they fixed an issue with it on controller. That's really nice to see. Fixed an issue where the shape sometimes didn't receive a vault speed bonus in Pursue or even card mode. That's really weird. Fixed an issue where the shape incorrectly had bloodlust during special attacks. Okay, that's kind of broken. Fixed the issue where the trapper would gain haste stacks when installing or resetting multiple bear traps. Interesting. Fixed the issue with the nightmare. Ooh, my boy. Could get stuck when teleporting to turn generous. Let's fucking go. Guess what, bitch? I don't get stuck anymore. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Fixed the issue where the barbed wire from the Executioner's Trail of Torment was invisible in Tormented 2 hours. It's supposed to be. It's a cool effect. I really like the effect was that. Fixation where the Executioner's Cage of Atonement would flicker when relocating. Fixation where survivors were unable to interact with lockers occupied by Dredge. I know you're supposed to be able to, so that way he can grab you or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that it just didn't before, with some weird issue that they just fixed. Fixed an issue where survivors could get stuck within each other after healing a downed survivor close to a corner. Fixed an issue where killers clipped into the ground when closing the hatch. Fixed an issue where some of the Dredge's weapons obstructed player view. Yeah, some of them do, so it's nice that that's fixed. Environment/maps. Fix an issue in the Autohaven Wreckers realm where the Nightmare, aka my boy, could get stuck with teleporting. Let's go. That's a huge fix. Now I'm happy. Let's go. Fix an issue in the Midwich Elementary School map where survivors could lay on top of a cage. That's really funny. Why'd you have to fix that? I don't like how behavior doesn't want us to have fun. Like, we can't climb rocks. We can't jump on the cage. It's really frustrating because, these are little things that other game developers, I feel like, would let the player would keep in, so that way the players could have a little bit more fun. Obviously, there's something really broken about doing that. Fair enough, but it's just frustrating that behavior does keep removing these because they're just little things, you know. So I'm not entirely sure why they're like this. You know what I mean. It's just kind of frustrating that they keep removing those little things that would have been, that a lot of players enjoyed. It kind of feels a little bit, not fully, but a little bit like they're just trying to slap us in the face and not let us have fun. That's kind of what it feels like sometimes. Though, I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating sometimes. Fix an issue on multiple maps where the camera would clip inside the Houndmaster's model. What the hell? At the beginning of a trial. Okay, that's weird. Fix an issue on the treatment theater maps where the killer could not grab a survivor from a generator. Fix an issue on multiple maps where the nurse could blink out of bounds. Again, if you guys have footage of that, I want to see it because I've never seen what that looks like when you're out of bounds. Fix the issue in the Gas Haven map where a survivor exiting a locker would clip through its top. That's not how that's supposed to work. Fix the issue in the Disturbed Ward map where the trapper could hide bear traps under rubble. Man, you have to fix that. Like, come on, Trapper's got like nothing, you know? People like to dog on Trapper players, but it's like we're doing our best. Like, come on. That would have been a huge fix to have had. Fixed issue in the Fodder Campbell's Chapel map where the animatronic could not interrupt a survivor interacting with a security door. Interesting. Fixed issue on the Deadlock Saloon map where survivors could not interact with the vault. That's a problem. Fixed an issue in the Lambkin Lane map where players had difficulty navigating on the mud ramp next to the main building. Interesting. Perks. Looks like we're nearing the end, so that's good. Fixed an issue where Lucky Star would not suppress grunts of pain if the survivor was in a walker when the perk cooldown finished. Fixed an issue where Bardic Inspiration granted permanent survivor aura reading. Fixed an issue where Mindbreaker would not pause existing exhaustion timers. Oh yeah, so fun fact, I actually saw before filming this, that got, you can't use Mindbreaker anymore due to that issue, which is really funny to think about. Fixed an issue where sprint burst triggered at the same time as completing a generator was a great skill check when using a controller. Interesting. So, weird little issue. UI fixed a crash that could occur when leaving the store while navigating the feature content carousel. That's a really weird time to crash, but okay. Fixed an issue on Microsoft platforms where quest progression could appear incorrect after switching accounts. Miscellaneous fixed an issue which prevented switching characters while matchmaking as a killer. You can do that now? I thought you couldn't before switch characters. Was that an issue that whole time? Or did they randomly change their mind about that? I don't know. Fixed an issue where the taskbar icon would not flash when the application was unfocused and a trial had started. Interesting. Fixed an issue where the taskbar icon would not flash when the application was unfocused and the trial had started. Oh, I see. Yeah. It usually does that, which is nice. Fixed an issue where the survivor tutorial was not able to be completed when the endgame collapse ended after opening and DX gate. Fixed an issue where the killer's match result could appear on screen briefly before the match ended. Interesting. Alright guys, well that seems to be everything in this patch. Final thoughts, a lot of little bug fixes, which is always good to see, you know. It's nice that they fix some crashing issues as well as some other weird little issues. Now you can switch your characters as killer, so like if you, which is really nice that that's a thing you can do now. It was really good seeing all these little fixes. You know, it was nice that Kaneki received like a nice little fix to a weird issue he had that I'm sure made him powerful. It's nice that they were fixing the perk that got kill switched, Mindbreaker. That's kind of nice that got fixed already. I think it got kill switched fairly recently, so that's kind of nice. It was nice that Krazu got a couple of changes. That's always good. Audio, of course, they always seem to have to fix up audio issues, which is fair. The Haunted by Daylight stuff, that stuff sounded really nice for that event. So it should work a little bit more smoothly and be a little bit better now, which is nice. And then, of course, the main thing was this. Besides the fact that Twins and Hellmaster are playable again in the event queue, is the shape, aka Michael Myers, changes. And I gotta say, I like how they buffed him more so across the board. It looks like they gave him a lot of buffs. It looks like they might have addressed my big issue with him of the ability to turn, which was also huge to see. And I'm really excited to see what that second step is towards that issue as well. But yeah, so final thoughts I feel like are pretty positive. Definitely interested to see what the new Michael is like. Might have to try to find footage of that or try to hear what other people are saying, or maybe Orange will share some thoughts with me on that. I'm not sure yet. Guess I'll find out. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, ring the bell, do all the aggraphic garbage. It helps us out a lot. It means a lot to us. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Boop.